Walker Valley head football coach Drew Akins joining us here live on location here at Mike Turner Field at Walker Valley High School. And, Coach, how are we doing this evening? Thanks for coming out.
Oh, we're great, man. Appreciate y'all having me as always. It's been a busy couple weeks. Good to have a break last week with spring break and get away. We were talking off air. Went to Disney, and that's kind of a trip where we can just kind of get away and forget that there's a real world back here. But nice to be back in school and see our guys and see the progress that we're making.
The vacation where it's not really a vacation, right, Justin?
There's a little work in it.
You say that. This is our fifth or sixth straight year going. We've gotten to where, if we can't ride it, we can't ride it. Like, we don't have to rush around Disney.
Okay.
We've done it. Our kids even are like, hey, we've done that before. It's okay. Like, we're not going to wait longer than 30 minutes. We're gonna sit down at shows. We're going to use Genie Plus. We may spend a little money. That's okay. But it's a great trip, man. And to watch the look on your kid's face when they see these princesses or go through, the new Moana land, or your son when he rides Tron for the first time. Like, those things are really cool. So I wouldn't trade those things for anything.
No, for sure. Sounds like we're going to try and collaborate and do that sometime for sure. Because
we can do it on site in Disney. Bring the stuff.
Knowing the radio budget may be off property doing that show for sure, but we definitely got to work on that for sure. So, well, kind of talk about the off season right now. You said a busy couple weeks for you, but I guess is the team going through conditioning and weight training, or what's it looking like for your team right now?
Yeah, we're in a lucky situation where we get most of our kids during first block. So we have 60 kids in first block, and those kids have been working since January. We kind of put together in January our off-season training. We're doing that from first block, 8:15 to 9:40 every day, which is really special. It's something unique, and when we talk about what makes Bradley County different, what makes Walker Valley different, I think that's a big difference is that we get our kids year-round. We have 75 kids in fourth block during the fall, and we got 60 kids. Everybody that's left over, other than the senior class, are in our first block and get straight to work. So it's been a lot of fun watching them grow. We've made some major movement when it comes to our strength, which is something we really have to make sure that we get stronger. We got a lot of guys coming back. We got a lot of holes that we got to fill. But regardless, we have to get stronger as a football team. We showed that at West. If you want to win that game, it's not all about X's and O's. It's about being able to be strong enough to hold up against those guys. Those guys are noticeably different when it comes to strength. So we got to match that. We know what it looks like now, and our kids have been working to get there.
So like I spoke to earlier, you've got a quarterback leaving and Evan Schwartzel. Obviously, I think he's got a signing later on this week.
Yep.
That'll be big for that young man. Is there any particular difficulty replacing a leader like at the quarterback position versus like a center or a defensive lineman, or do you just kind of hope that obviously you can't recruit a player, but what's it going to be like kind of replacing a quarterback who did so much for his team in such a short time, and then obviously it's a team sport, but that position with the one guy that gets the ball every time, what's the difference between kind of replacing a senior stud quarterback like you're going to do this year?
It is different. We've had different levels of leaders. When Evan was a junior, he wasn't our team leader, and I think he would tell you he wasn't our team leader. He was a junior trying to find his way and trying to figure out what his role was. And we had other guys like Tucker Owenby. Tucker sitting down there and watching, him be a leader on that team. Eli Denton obviously was a huge leader on that team. Jackson Gibson, I could go on and on about the leaders on that team, but when you talk about a quarterback, it's just different. And I can't really, it's not tangible. There's nothing we can tangibly put on it to say, hey, this is why it's different. It just is. And I think, losing Evan is going to be very difficult. It's something that we've got to make sure, throw him out. Oh, man. Put the tag on. It's something, when you play the position, I think you just get more eyes on you. People are looking to you. Our kids look to Evan to make plays. And his ability to do that consistently over and over and over gave our kids a lot of confidence. So, you think about what is leadership anyway? Leadership is doing what you're supposed to do and then bringing guys along with you. And you saw Evan do that over and over and over with Hudson McCooch and Roman Yulo and our running back core. We didn't really have one running back. We had a bunch of running backs that went and made plays. Even with our transfers with Brady Stack, him coming in and learning, a lot of that stemmed from Evan. Evan bringing those guys along. So we're going to have to make sure that we do a couple things. One, you can't ask Dosen to be Evan. You can't go in and say, hey, Dosen, this is the way Evan did it. This is how Evan led, and you got to be that kind of leader. No, you got to let Dosen go learn to play quarterback first. And you got to count on guys like Bryson Farley at your center and Caleb Kelly, who's played a ton of football at offensive tackle, and those kind of guys that have played a bunch of football for us to go and be leaders on the football team. So, and allow Dosen to kind of ease his way in. Hudson has done a great job being a leader from the wide receiver position. So we're going to have to find leadership in other places. The difference, I think, this year is, we have 10 to 12 guys that we can look to as leaders, where in past years there's been, 5 or 6 that we think, hey, this kid may be able to turn into a leader. So, the depth of our leadership could be stronger, even though we don't have the one guy necessarily to look to.
Speaking of your quarterback, we had him on when we were up here during basketball season, and Jesse, go ahead and play cut 2. This is something he said when Justin asked about you, Coach Akins.
And dealing with Coach Akins, man, we've got everybody came in here and said, we hope Coach Akins doesn't show up so we can actually leave here on time.
Oh, man, y'all be here forever.
What can you say about Coach and what he's meant to you?
Your response to that, knowing that you can't discipline him because he is a senior this year.
Man, just undercut me right here in front of everybody. Unbelievable. Listen, man, I love that kid, and he's not wrong. I have no defense. If you're trying to build a defense and you got to go into court, I literally have none. So, listen, man, I just love talking about our guys. I love talking about our program, and I'm not going to shy away from that. So, you asked me one question. I told y'all before we got on, y'all got 1 or 2 questions. You better make them good, because I'm going to talk through the cold. That keeps me warmer.
Well, and you said, off air, he's going to be signing soon. So kind of talk about that as well. It's kind of a good segue to talk about that, him officially signing with Bethel University.
Yeah, next Thursday we got it set up during our middle advisory session that we're going to go in and we're going to celebrate, his year and his future, and just make sure that we send him off in a good way. We've already signed Tyron Forte. He got signed on signing day. So excited for him. And to sign another guy out of our program, a guy that's given so much to our program and laid it on the line for us. We're excited about being able to celebrate him next Thursday. So he'll be signed with Bethel. He'll be with his friends and family and our football team, and it's going to be a great celebration.
One last question before we get you out of here. Again, Walker Valley head coach Drew Akins joining us right here on Off the Bench on Talk 102.3. Justin, go ahead.
Yeah, 15 seconds or less. Favorite, what's the go-to ride at Disney?
Go-to ride at Disney, man, I'll tell you what, I'm not sure there's any ride better, period, than Guardians of the Galaxy.
There you go.
Dude, Guardians of the Galaxy is crazy good, so I encourage everybody to go.
That's the inside analysis right there. It'd be off the football field right here. I would have to agree. That is probably my favorite ride at Walt Disney World for sure. So definitely a go-to for sure. And it's got the Drew Akins stamp of approval, so it's got to be the best ride for sure.
Got to be good.
So